Hello, Ing. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Great, thanks, Ing. And I just want to introduce you to the people viewing this today. So you're a certified holistic health counsellor, a speaker, author of the Body Love Diet, and a transformation coach, along with being the founder of IngridArna.com, Body Love Daily, Body Love Beauty Elixir, and now the creator of Body Love Baby program, and soon to be stepping into your most important role as a new mum. I'm so excited to be sharing your inspiration and motivation with my clients and subscribers, Ing. I know you have loads of great experience and personal stories to share, so I'll try and keep our interview as brief as we can, but do it some justice at the same time. So, Ing, when we first met, we were both training at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and you'd struggled with things like weight loss, body image issues, and I'd love it if you could go into a bit more detail about that more specifically. But I just would love to know why you decided to look more closely at your food choices and pursue your passion for good health.
Oh, wow, that's a good one. Great question. I had to pursue my passion for health because really I almost lost my life from having a chronic illness. And, I had a few illnesses, but really at the depth of it all, it was this deep sense of, I think, insecurity, self-loathing, confusion, and below that, because usually when we keep getting really real and we go to the core issue, it was a deep sense of trauma and sorrow and grief that I hadn't released. So as a result, I moved to New York when I was 20 years of age to become an actress, and I got addicted to diet pills. I was obsessed with getting skinny. Genetically, my body is more, it's petite but curvy, and I really wanted to fit in. I wanted to be successful, and I kind of had that programming of I needed to be really skinny in order to be an actress and do modeling and stuff like that. So, yeah, I got hooked on diet pills. And before long, I had a full-blown eating disorder. I became bulimic, basically a drug addict, even though I got my drugs from a doctor. They were prescribed pills, like diet pills, but they were really pretty much speed. And I lived on gummy bears and Diet Coke for years.
Yeah.
And at 24, I came home from a holiday to Australia, and I wasn't feeling very well at all, as you could probably imagine, like after doing that to your body for so long. But I actually had a benign growth in my uterus. It was actually misdiagnosed and by 4 gynecologists. And I ended up having an operation and hemorrhaging and having 3 subsequent operations on my uterus.
Gosh.
That is when I got my major wake-up call. So I was really forced to not only look at my food choices, but my emotional set point and my emotional sense of well-being in order to really heal, because I physically, spiritually, and mentally could not continue.
Yes. And so what changes have you made and how long has it taken you?
Well, because I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was sort of lost in the dark. It took me, quite a few years, and I think we're always evolving. So I don't think this process actually stops.
Yeah.
However, I will say that, and I am pretty proud of this, I don't mean this in an ego way, but I have mastered my whole self-love, and that's why I created Body Love around my body. And so I went from body hate to body love, and they say that you teach what you most need to learn. Yeah. But I've been doing this for a long time now. So to answer your question, it took me... it took me 2 or 3 years, but I think if you have the right resources, coach and mentorship to really support you, then I believe that you can heal quite rapidly. I think that a lot of people make the healing process way, way too complicated, but you have to remember I was quite a damaged little soul. I died from the age of 12. I was now 24 when I really started to get into my healing.
Yeah.
Just so that it can give you some perspective on my journey.
Sorry, can you say that again, Ing? Was it 38?
38.
Yeah.
I look fabulous.
You look great at 38, and for a new mum.
I'm up for your audience. And actually, I just want to mention that, like, if you go to my website and whatnot and you see the pictures of my book, and I have a lot of beauty that I like to, not to say that I'm beautiful, but I like to make myself feel beautiful. And that's about my sensuality, and I'm very, very passionate about that. So one of the aspects to my healing was really owning and being proud of my sensuality as a woman. That's also helped me to really love my body, because I think today there's a lot of shame and blame around our sexuality, about genuinely really liking ourselves.
Yes.
And I do myself up and all this whole thing, it makes me feel in touch with sort of this sense of divine goddess. And it doesn't matter really what size, shape, age you are. If we can adorn ourselves, we don't need to, but it's a fun thing for me. I get a lot of pleasure out of it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's interesting, because I've noticed in the years that I've known you that, getting your mind in the right place has been really important, and your ability to manifest, because I know you're big on manifestation. How did you get to that point? Because that's a really hard thing to do, to sort of get your mind in the right place.
Okay,
was there sort of,
great question.
Yeah.
And that's probably, answers the other question that I probably didn't answer properly, which was, what are some of the things that I've done? And really it is to learn to manage my imagination, or our monkey mind. So I used to live with a lot of fear and anxiety, and it wasn't until I really learned that the power of our mind really creates the shape of our body, our health, our love life. It also even dictates how much money we make and our abundance. And it really comes down to our emotional set point. So once I learned to master that, or practice that, and be conscious, I should say, more conscious every day of what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. Because what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, as you know, creates our reality. Yes. So one of my techniques that I like to talk about too is just to ask yourself, like, this is a great little technique, every day, what do you deeply desire? And to get deeply connected into that. So really, at the end of the day, I've learned that how I feel is my choice. I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, she made me feel, my mother did this, and so I felt like this, my husband did that, my child did that, and so they've made me feel like angry. But no, actually, they haven't made you feel anything.
Yes.
Your reaction and your response to what goes on to your life is up to you, and you dictate that through how you respond and how you feel.
It's our choice, isn't it? But that's one of the biggest things to understand, is that it's a choice that we have, how we respond.
Choice, and it's a powerful choice, and that choice dictates your future.
Yes.
So days, I know that you already know all this stuff. You're interviewing me, and I'm. But, you know all this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's great to keep going.
So every day I can, decide to get up to feel alive and grateful and joyous. There's things that I still maybe want, or there might be, something that I could have gotten really upset about, but I've really just learned to manage my emotional set point, and really I just try to focus on joy.
So what, you wake up and you're in a bit of a funk, you may not have slept as well, or might not have made a great choice for dinner, or whatever it might be, and you just don't wake up as well as you would like. How do you get yourself into a better frame of mind?
I have a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. You've probably heard that before, that saying. I think it's from a movie or something. But it's actually at those points that you need to get more, like, you need to up level your emotion.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling funky, it's like, okay, I'm feeling funky, I'll feel it. Well, first of all, why? What mistakes have I made? Be conscious and aware of, okay, these are my triggers. When I don't get enough rest, when I've had too much wine, when I've been there for everybody else and not myself.
Yeah.
These are the things that trigger me. Learn the lesson and move on. And I try to be kind to myself.
Yeah.
So that day, I up-level my self-care.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, instead of berating myself or feeling like, oh, woe is me, it's like, have a bit of a laugh, have a giggle. Oh, well, I really screwed up there. We all screw up. What did I learn? What are the things I'm not going to repeat again?
Yeah.
And then, thirdly, I really try to, if you're a mum working from home, or you've got kids to look after and they're having a nap, try to have a nap.
Yeah.
Don't be. Let the house go.
It's a really good point, because often we'll just soldier on and put that self-care at the bottom of the list because we kind of, it's that self-sabotage mode. But I love that. That's a great idea.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of women have a lot of guilt around this whole self-care thing, and I have this little affirmation that I tell myself that makes me laugh, and I chant it all the time. And one of the things that I had to really do for myself, someone said to me years ago, Ingrid, when you're in a lot of pain or you're having a difficult time, get down on your hands and knees and start praying and never get up. So I'm not religious, but I do believe in a higher consciousness, and I do believe in the power of, once again, with the mind dialogue and how we speak to ourselves. So I'm always kind of like in a state of prayer. So if I'm having a funky day, I'm saying, I love luxury and luxury loves me. I'm a divine, beautiful creator. And I give myself all these beautiful affirmations, and that really lifts my spirit. But I used to force through my life. Like, I was a workaholic.
Yes.
Incredibly hard on myself, and I've had to work quite consciously to change my way of being. And so now when I want to relax and chill out, if I need to have a nap, if I want to go and have a little pedicure, or I need to ask my husband to up-level his level of taking care of the household because I really am just at my ends with, I bloody well, ask for it.
Yeah.
And I receive.
Yeah.
And I'm receiving. And that has radically changed my life. But not only that, my health.
Yes, that's great. And just on that, because since I've known you, you have written a book, you've been interviewed on the Steve Harvey show in America, and you were told, I remember when we first started talking, that you would never have children, and that specialists had told you that it's not possible given your previous history and the illnesses that you had experienced. And now you're about to have a healthy baby. And, a baby's a miracle in itself, let alone, someone with your background. So I'm just really interested to hear your thoughts on how you've achieved that, because that takes to me an incredible mind, but also a very healthy body to be able to carry a healthy baby, based on, so maybe you can share a little bit how specific, maybe 3 things that you really believe have got you to where you are, because it is incredibly inspirational.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, I'm really lucky. I think actually the word luck, I call it leveraging universal creative knowledge. So it's really about creating your own life through your mind. So the 3 core things that I think that I've done in order to really radically help my health is, number 1, eat more fats.
What was that, Ing?
Eat more fats.
Yes, oh great, I love that.
And also eat the beauty. So
yes.
I call it eat the beauty to get a rocking booty. So my whole way of eating is about pleasure and deserving and nourishment. And I think that's radically helped me because I don't have any fear. A lot of women fear food about it, making us like how many calories we're eating, getting fat, but fat can't make us fat. And for a long time I was addicted to the low-fat diet.
Yes.
And it actually just really wrecked, my central nervous system, my metabolism. I was constantly hungry, so I then craved sugars, and so I actually don't eat any sugar either. I don't eat wheat either. So I eat a lot of beautiful, like green leafy vegetables. I eat grass-fed beef, chicken, fish, and loads of avocados, olive oil on my salads, and lots of coconut oil, which you know about, which is thermogenic and speeds up your metabolism. So those sorts of foods make me feel really loved up and juicy and amazing. So that, I think, has really helped me. And in saying that leads to the second part of what I've done. When I feel really good like that, I feel more relaxed. So I've greatly lowered my stress, and when I've been able to do that, what has happened for me is I've gone into the relaxation response. So instead of being in that stress, fight, flight, manic mode of living that I used to live in all the time, and I'm sure a lot of people watching can probably relate.
Yes.
What I've actually done is like going to bed early, so I'm lowering any of that hunger hormone ghrelin, which stimulates you wanting to eat heaps and heaps of food.
Yes.
That kind of thing. So I really slowed down my life. I put my self-care and my self-love as my number one priority.
No, that's good, Ing. Yes, that's great.
So all of that slowing down has been really important. And then I think the third last thing is having a lot more play and fun in my life.
Yes.
You know, and one of the core things that I've had to do to really get that going on is release all the energetic drains. I'm incredibly passionate about that. So if you have friends, family members, or resentments, a feeling of obligation with people or anger that you haven't dealt with, I think that's incredibly draining, and it makes us feel very heavy and lethargic, and it's a huge weight.
Yes.
So you cut all of that out of my life.
Yes.
So I feel really nourished and loved by my relationships, whether it be with, you know, family members, friends, but also in my work and my business. If it's not really feeding my soul, it has to go. And
then that's opened you up for, you know, all other great things to come into your life.
Absolutely.
You know, to keep the vibe going almost, isn't it?
Well, I think running your own business and being a woman today and being a mother of business, making money, supporting our husbands or our partners, whatever, it's a lot. And if you then have these other, you know, issues, like a lot of women have a lot of drama with family and friends, and I used to have that. I used to kind of buy into all of that. I'm sure I'm a perpetuator of some of it as well.
Yeah.
But I've cut it out. I'm like, I want a very calm life. I say what I mean what I say it with love, and but I am quite, I don't know if I'm ruthless, that sounds harsh, but I'm passionate about not having those, I call them energy vampires.
Well, it's honesty too, isn't it? It's a bit of honesty.
Yeah, and I don't think you're right, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I don't think you can really get there without having a pretty good dose of self-love, because a lot of women put up with a lot of crap because they feel obligated, they want to be nice, they want to be liked, but that's actually a fear-based response.
Yes.
You are beautiful, you are amazing, you don't need to prove that to anybody. Yeah. So I think a lot of women deny their own well-being to keep the peace, but at the end of the day, there's no peace, because if your spirit is in pain and your body then becomes sick because of that, which is what happened to me, and I think I see that a lot. I don't know if you see it with your clients, where we put up with it. It's like, oh, it's enough. You know, we're very addicted to this obsession. Oh, it's enough. Mm-hmm. Well, what about broadening our minds to, well, what if it could be like this? And what if you could actually have more?
And that's an interesting point, Ing, because this whole self-love allows us to have time to ourselves to be able to see what's really going on. But if we're continually in that stress, busy mode and looking after everybody else, not taking time for ourselves, it's very difficult to see what's really going on.
Absolutely. I think, you know, you need stillness, don't you? You need space. And even if it's only for a mother, like, honestly, we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
And you don't have the financial well-being to have a babysitter. I always, maybe a suggestion is, get a friend to do a swap with you. Ask a mother-in-law, ask your mother. If you don't have family near you, ask a neighbour.
Yes.
Muttering system.
Yes.
Take an hour, even to just go back to bed.
Oh, no, it makes such a difference. It's so true. But it is a matter of asking.
Yeah, it's about asking. And I think, you know, the question that we could ask your viewers today is, what is one thing that you could do for yourself right now that would be self-loving? You know, who can you ask for support? Is it your husband? Is it your best friend? Is it a neighbour? Is it one of the your children's, like the mothers that your child's friends with?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good. I think we'll definitely do that. So if there is one thing that people can do for self-love, I think that's a great idea. What would it be that they could do now? Great question.
Is that the question for me, or do I answer the question?
No, I think for the people watching today, definitely.
You need, you know.
Absolutely. So, just on that, what would you say is the number one thing that you would recommend to someone who want the first thing that you would say is needed to get to great health and well-being?
Another great question. Clear out the emotional junk in your life.
I love that expression.
Forget about it. Like, if you just do one, what I say is you can give someone the perfect diet, right, for their genetic body type, the most ideal diet, eating plan. But if they have not dealt with that emotional junk, they will never have radiant health, peace, and well-being. They just won't.
What are 3 things that you have done to help clear the emotional junk in the trunk?
First of all, identify what it is.
Yeah.
For example, I might have a client, she says her number one fear is she's got this deep fear of her boyfriend abandoning her. And I say, really? Is that really your number one fear? Now, this person, for example, now I'm talking about a client now, not me. I mean, what did I have to do? Sorry. Let me come to that. I really had to heal my relationships with my family.
Okay, yes.
I did that I made a big mistake for very many years. I kept thinking that if I just was nicer, kinder, more loving, and that we had all these deep and meaningful conversations, that it would all work out. And while it can sometimes be great and healing, if people aren't willing to come to your healing party, you can end up being very disappointed. So I just had to make peace with people and my past on my own, and really just I had to forgive myself and I had to forgive other people without them actually getting involved in my process. Because, say you have a very diabolical, difficult relationship with a family member, sometimes, unfortunately, they don't live up to your expectations, what you'd hope them to, in order to have the healing. So I often say to people, and I sort of work this myself, and I bring it into my coaching as well. What happens if you never get that healing or closure with your father, your mother, your sister, your brother?
So, and Ing, is part of that, lowering your expectations or not having those expectations, and at the same time pursuing your truth and what you know is your passion, and which may not be aligned necessarily with those that are close to you, and that you expect support or have those expectations from?
Yeah, I actually gave up expectations. I decided to be healthy and whole without the involvement of anybody else, and that is when real power and real healing comes into play. I'm not dependent on getting love from my mother, my father, my sister, this person, that person. My healing, I can be healed and whole, whether I use a therapist, a coach, whether I just do it through prayer, whether I use a lot of visualization and affirmation, and really, I believe, and this is something that's helped me greatly, I had to wake up to the fact I am divine beauty, you're divine beauty, all the people watching are divine beauty. That's the truth of who you really are. And when you don't really believe it and you're not in alignment with that, you're going to be in pain and you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
You do not need anybody to validate you. That's what I've learned. So I had to learn to validate myself. So I had to become my own lover, my own mother, my own father, my own best friend, and I had to pull up my britches and connect to my higher self, my higher power. And one of the other steps to this that's really important, so one is trying to identify the core pain, the core feeling of the emotion, and work really hard to sort of release it, heal it, forgive others, forgive yourself. The second step is, I believe, and I find this helps a lot with myself and my clients, and I do it every day myself. I ask myself, what do I want? What do you want?
Yeah. So setting those goals, setting goals, and
it's a goal, but it's a desire. It's like, it doesn't have to be too heady. It's like a feeling, an emotion. So it snaps me out of the story. Because if you want to create a new life for yourself, you have to let the story go.
Yes.
So when I say I desire a loving relationship with my husband, I desire a loving relationship with my children, I'm completely focused.
Yeah.
That oh, my husband did this, my child did this, I didn't get this, I lost money here. It's all the stuff we don't have, rather than focusing on that which we want to receive.
So, Ing, from what I'm hearing, a lot of our success in terms of who we want to be and getting our health and our well-being and meeting those goals is really about getting our mind in the right place and understanding, giving ourselves that self-love that really nourishes us from that spiritual and mind level, so that we can then make better choices. Sorry, go on.
On anyone else for it. Do not wait for anyone.
So it's taking responsibility, isn't it? Like, we have it. It's all available to us. It's just up to us to make that choice.
I think we have to decide that we really want to be healthy and whole.
Yes.
We have to not wait. We don't want to hesitate, procrastinate. We have to decide. And I believe getting support from people like you is essential, because I've had heaps of coaches and mentors and healers throughout my life, and it's propelled me forward. So really, you're investing in yourself, and when you show up like that and you invest in yourself and you ask life to support you, you get supported, and it kind of propels you forward at a fast speed. And yes, and that requires real self-responsibility. Only 2 or 3% of the population, and I tell people that I work with and commend them, actually invest in themselves.
Yes, I know, it's so important. And Ing, so just to sum up, can you just recap on, I guess, from a mind, body, soul perspective, the 3 things that are critical to you in terms of good health?
Eating for beauty to get a rocking booty.
And what would that involve? Good fats?
Okay, loads of avocado, good fats, coconut oil, which is,
great.
It's at most, I only cook with coconut oil because it's the hip oil, obviously, that has a high heat point, so it doesn't burn and become carcinogenic.
Yes.
Eat for beauty, you must almost dance when you're cooking. You must stop counting calories. You must stop weighing yourself. You must really enjoy food, not just on your tongue, but you must make it a whole body experience. So get sexy and sensual with your food.
Yeah, body love.
There's a scientific response here, a chemical response that the women here really need to understand. This is not just this woo-woo Ingrid chick talking about dancing in the kitchen and falling in love with herself and food. When you do that, it actually spikes your metabolism. It spikes your immune system, so you'll have more energy. You're able to digest and assimilate the nutrients from the food. So when you're stressed and worrying about gaining weight and having a freak out about your food every single day, you're basically shutting down your digestion. You're not getting all those nutrients that you need. So it doesn't really matter what you're eating. You're really not going to be getting the benefit.
Yes, yeah. So let's put some music on and boogie away while we're cooking up a storm.
Have fun with it and enjoy it. And whenever you get a fear-based thought, like, oh my God, am I eating too much? Is this going to make me fat? Stop and just say, I love food. Food nourishes my body. I deserve and live with pleasure.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's in my book, and there's a lot of the science behind it. And the power of pleasure will transform your body and transform your life. And a lot of women, unfortunately, are scared of pleasure, but we can go into that another time.
Yeah, we'd better. But Ing, tell me, is there anything else specifically that you want to share and that you feel is important today?
I just think health and healing is really can be a really delicious, torture-free experience. Yeah. And I think that if you can just focus your attention on what you really want. Most women don't know what they want.
Yes.
And they don't trust what they want. So if you can really work on raising your awareness of your desires and decide that you're going to claim it for yourself.
And things like, just to break that down, vision boards, journaling, just stillness, things like that help those desires and
some time, they're great questions. Having some time out, I have a vision board that I'd love to show you up there to the side.
Can you show us?
So what, sorry?
Can you show us? Can you swing the computer around?
Oh, I've got a big laptop here.
Too
like
hard.
a big
That's okay.
I can send you a photo.
All right, that'd be great, Ing.
I've got, my goals. Like I've got, New York Times bestseller. I've got pictures of me cooking. I've got the cover of my book. I've got pictures of I love beautiful, like homes and plush furnishing.
Yeah, great. And so that's that manifesting, which for me 4 or 5 years ago, I just would not have put a thought to. But it is so key, isn't it? We are what we think in a way, we create it.
Well, we are completely what we think, I think. I think that's really powerful. And I actually surround myself with imagery. So, for example, if I needed to work, say, on my money consciousness or something, I'll say, wherever I turn, abundance follows me. And I'll actually put up saying so that I'm constantly training my mind to be in the right state of actually attracting that which I want to receive. So I think that's really important, and I really cannot I want to really express the power of rest and sleep, like getting good sleep, getting grounded, breathing in oxygen and breathing in the air, and just feeling, because oxygen is our most vital nutrient. We can only live without it for about, a couple of minutes.
Yeah, true.
I don't think we even slow down enough, forget about even getting stillness and time alone, like to just take a deep breath in our day.
It's gold, yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, so important.
Really important. But I think that overall, managing my mind, staying away from what I call vexes to my spirit, so any toxic relationships, life's too short, they've just got to go, and eating for beauty, which is really about banishing all the fear-based food fears.
Yes.
And really feeling like that we deserve pleasure, we deserve to be nourished.
Yes.
I believe one thing, because I focus also a lot to do with health and weight loss, when we actually put nourishment and health and beauty and vibrancy and pleasure at the top of our list, I believe that the body corrects itself. So you actually don't need to focus on weight at all. You need to focus on health and beauty and happiness and joy and pleasure. And then the body heals.
I love that, Ing. That is so good. That is so true, I think. And there's too much focus because, and that kind of places stress on us, doesn't it? If you're worried about things like weight or your body image, and we don't want stress.
Absolutely. I mean, even when I just say the word, like saying to you right now, I just think of the word weight. That's why I call my book's called Body Love Diet, and there was a reason I did that because so many women are addicted to diets, but it actually stands for Daily Intuitive Energy Transformation. So it's pretty out there. It's all about energy, and energy is really about also the mind and our emotions.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's sort of a new take on the word diet. However, when I think about weight loss, it just almost makes me feel sick. It's just such a heavy, it's a drudgery. So that actually moves us away from weight loss because, as you said, it creates that stress. And those stress chemicals shoot cortisol through the roof in your body, which is a fat-storing hormone.
Yes.
What about loving ourselves, having the most juicy, delicious time, and then as a result, healing and transforming the body? How about that change?
I love it.
Panic, fear, calorie count. I do not count calories. I do not hop on this scale apart from the fact that my doctor keeps wanting to weigh.
Yeah. Well, he does. He wants to know how that baby's doing. But he shouldn't have to worry.
Well, it's interesting. I will just before we go, and you probably want to cut me off because I just blab on. But
well, we could talk all day, which we have kind of in the past.
I want to say one thing. A friend of mine asked me, I must be sort of, she's trying to be caring, and she says to me, it must be quite hard for you carrying all the extra weight. And I thought, you know what? It really isn't hard. Like, I feel so grateful. And before, you talked about me now being pregnant when I was told that I couldn't be pregnant. I really think that was a mindset for me, and I just decided that it was meant to be, it would be, and I trust myself, and I trust my body, and I trust life. I had a miscarriage about a year ago, and people said, oh, Ingrid, you're so, inspiring. You know, it's the way that you dealt with it. And I thought about it. Really, am I? So I don't really think I am. I think that I just trust my body. After not trusting my body at all, for probably 15 years of my life, and really torturing myself and my body and treating myself like crap.
Yeah.
I've learned that when I trust my body will take care of everything. And having the miscarriage really was a gift, because that fetus wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And it was released, and therefore I actually also think that I cleared out a lot of endometriosis and issues that I'd had. That hadn't been cleared, and I had a curette in hospital, and everything was cleared out. And then I said to my husband, okay, do we want to go into IVF? Do we want to do any of those things? And we both decided together that we didn't want to do, and we didn't want any intervention.
Yeah.
So let's have a really good time having as much sex as possible. And, you know, I did do a bit of some homeopathics as well, and I just kept just really trusting my body and exercising. And, you know, I don't exercise excessively, by the way. I only do gentle exercise because of my body, and I've had adrenal fatigue in the past, like extreme exhaustion, so I'm very mindful of not going too hard at the gym. I don't agree with all of that. I'm very gentle with myself.
Yeah.
And eating the great food and just keeping an open mind. And we said, look, if we fall pregnant naturally, then it's going to be great. Otherwise, we're not going to pursue it. We're not going to go into any of these other
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Got pregnant again 2.5 months later, and I have scored the highest tests, like everything that you could possibly imagine.
Fantastic.
It's like my body actually aged, even though I'm 38. That's sort of more like a 30-year-old.
Great.
And I'm proud of it, because I think that is a result of real self-care, self-love, and shutting down that monkey mind of mine.
Yeah.
I honestly, and people have said to me and made kind of given me their opinion a lot of, if they think that I'm too healthy or too this or too that. And really, I've learned, one of the biggest things that I've learned in my life, I would have to say it's maybe the healthiest, is not giving a rat's ass what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
Because most people aren't healthy.
No.
Most people aren't happy. So why would I allow their opinion of what I do influence?
No, that's true. Yes, and it's damaging. So, and often it's people trying to make themselves feel a little bit better at the same time. So, you are. Oh, Ing, we better wrap up. But thank you so much. You are such an inspiration. And I'm going to show everyone your book, Body Love Diet, the manuscript. I got it in its raw form.
Okay. If they want to get a free chapter, they can.
Great.
Try at bodylovedietbook.com.
Yep.
And it's a pretty delicious chapter titled Vitamin Love. And it's got a few really cool processes in there. It's got a beautiful, warm, fuzzy pink love visualization, and another process called the Breath of Love. And it's free, so check it out.
Fantastic. That's great, Ing. Thank you so much. And I hope people do, because it's your story is so inspiring, and you're a great example of what people can achieve. So thanks so much, Ing.
You're inspiring, and thank you for having me. I love your work, and we will speak soon.
We will. And look, all the best in the next few weeks before your little baby arrives. Take care, gorgeous. Bye. Bye, Ing.